Hi guys, this is Sharadid here. I made one video for the project management activity and I'm also taking the example for the mobile banking app. So these are the 10 activities involved. The first one is project initiation, project planning, resource allocation, the risk management, and the fifth one communication management, and sixth one progress monitoring, change management, quality assurance, and issue resolution. And the last one is very important, project closure. So now I will talk in the detail level about the project management activity. So as I discuss about the 10 activities about the in agenda 10. So first one is the project initiation. So as I mentioned, I have taken the banking example. So when you develop an app, what are the things are involved to develop an app? Like we need to understand about the risk management, we need to understand the communication management, we need to understand the roles and responsibility, and we need to understand the how the we need to manage a cost estimation. So these are a lot of things are involved to develop a product for the banking. So when you see, I just noted down 5 points: purpose, scope, and objective, and stakeholder. So what is the purpose? Purpose means, because when you have seen some other banks also made a mobile app, now you are creating a new app. So when you create a new app, so definitely you should have a different kind of a functionality which other bank have. So these kind of thing we need to think, and we need to define a scope. Scope means when you use a mobile app for the banking, so what are the main things are involved? It could be account management information, and you need to transfer your fund, and also your bill payment. Also, you can use the banking mobile app to for the bill payment. So these are the scope. And the what is the objective? Objective means there is a three main thing. We need to satisfy the customer. If customer gets satisfied, we can easily acquire more customer for banking. And the new things, other things, we need to reduce the operational cost. Because if we reduce the operational cost, we can add extra feature for mobile app. And the last point I just want to say, stakeholders. Because when we are developing any app for your banking, your stakeholders gives your fund for your product. So these are the we need to involve like your bank executive, IT department, and customer service, and all the regulatory bodies. Because when you're developing any app for the banking, the compliance and banking compliance are very important factor to launch any banking product. And the next thing, next point I just want to talk about the project planning. So I just made a one diagram kind of thing so we can easily understand. So first I just read through a definition. What is a definition for the project planning? Project planning is the process of creating a detail of roadmap that outline tasks, timelines, and resource and dependencies. So when you create any roadmap, so these are the things very important. We need to have a task, we need to have a timelines, and resource and dependencies. So because if you develop, if you define proper way, like what is the task, what is the timeline, so it will be very easy to complete your project. So I just mentioned what are the tasks and what are the timelines. So timeline means suppose you have just taken the example banking. I've taken the example for the banking product. So I just said like we can develop this product within a 6 month. So design could be your 2 months, development could be 4 months, and testing could be 1 month, and within last month we can launch the product. So that's a 6 month proper project. And the resource, and resource is very important thing, because who resource are the involved. So it could be designer, it could be developer, it could be testers, or it could be project manager or IT infrastructures. And the last one I just wanted to say, dependencies, because without testing you cannot launch any product. So a lot of thing dependencies, but here I just gave the high level of the dependencies. When we do in the detail level of the planning, definitely we need to list down all the micro level of the dependencies to deliver any product. Thank you. And the third point is resource allocation. So resource allocation is very important thing. So again, I'll just read through a definition. What is the definition of the resource allocation? Resource allocation involves assigning a roles and responsibility to team members and ensuring adequate resources are available. So because why I'm bringing this point, if you are developing banking product, And so we need to define what is the role. Role could be like a designer, role could be backend developer, role could be front-end developer, it could be tester, it could be project manager. So these are the roles. And what are the responsibility? Responsibility means who is doing this that activity. We need to define a proper name. Like John is designing app interface, Sarah is developing a backend, and Mike is doing a coding things. And so these are the responsibilities. So we need to have a clear picture about the roles and responsibility. So this is a process to develop a product. But here I'm not talking about the coding of Python or Java, and like I'm just talking about the project management activity for the develop any product. And the fourth one is very, very important, risk management. But here I just gave one slide for the risk management. But risk management itself has a like a uh, big project. Actually, we need to have a clear understanding about the what is a risk likely. A risk could be anything. But here I'll just read through a definition. What is a risk? Risk in management involves identify potential risk, assessing their impact and likelihood, and developing strategies to mitigate them. So these are the when we see what kind of the risk could be happen. So when you are developing any product like as I mentioned the banking mobile app, so it could be your existing risk or it could be new risk. And here I mentioned the integration yeah, risk. Integration it could be like suppose if you are using a third party software like a credit card validation, so you need to connect with the third party, so that could be also risk. And your cyber attacks, that could be also risk. And regulatory approvals, because sometimes what happen, you don't get approvals from the regulatory compliance approval, it's very difficult, so that could be also risk. And so these kind of thing we need to pass through, and we need to list down all the risk to mitigate, and we need to deliver our product. So these are just high level about the risk management. So next thing again, I just want to talk about the communication management. So again, I'll just read through the communication management definition. Communication management establishes the channels and protocols for the effective communication within a team and within a stakeholder. So why I'm bringing this point, because if you're developing a product, we need to have a proper weekly status, monthly status, or daily status to develop a product. If you don't, if we are not talking about the status, what we are doing day-to-day activity, our project will be delay, and it could be in the risk status. So that is the communication is very, very important, and we can use any channel. Like we can use Slack, we can use a video conferencing, we can use a other channel to understanding about the status about the product. And the sixth is very, very important, progress monitoring. So progress monitoring, again, I'll just read through a definition of the progress monitoring. Progress monitoring involves tracking the project performance against a milestone, budget, and schedule using appropriate tools and metrics. So what happens when you start any project? Definitely first we define timelines, milestone, budget, scheduling, and generally we can use the tools also we can use tools. So progress means we need to have a proper set the milestone, like it could be designing phase, development phase, testing phase, implementation phase, launch phase. So these are the milestone, and we need to track all the phases. And also top of that, we need to check a budget also, because sometimes happen if you're spending a lot of money in the design phase, and you need to extra like you need to have some money for the development phase also. So every phase we need to check our budget. Actually, budget should not go based on your expected cost. And the last one is very, very important, schedule. Ensure tasks are completed on time to meet the planned launch date. Because if you have defined like this is a schedule date for the development and design and testing, so we need to make sure that we meet that deadline. Otherwise, what will happen? Your project will be delayed, and you need to pay extra cost for the launch your product. And again, you need to get your approval from the stakeholder, your team member, and project management. First they'll give approval for the extra cost, then you can deliver a product. So that's the reason progress monitoring is a very, very important thing to deliver any product. And the last seventh point is change management. So again, I'll read through a definition. Change management implements procedure to manage change in scope, schedule or resources while minimizing disruption. So what happened, because you are already developing any mobile product, but sometimes what happens, someone finds a new features in your product. So we need to be ready, like we need to make product like that we can add anytime, and also we should have minimize the cost of the product. If you are adding a new feature in a mobile app, so it should be ready, we can add it. And definitely all the life cycle will be changed, like a design, implement, and testing. Definitely we need to have some extra cost for that. And other thing we need to explain like a POC kind of thing, and we need to have approval from the stakeholder for the provide extra cost for this changes. So, and this is the thing. And the last point, again, I just want to talk approval process, because process is very, very important. Unless until we don't get a approval for the new change, we cannot implement. So this is an seventh point is the change management. That's a very, very important to meet a, uh, to develop any product. And eighth point is the quality assurance. Quality assurance is also a very, very important thing, because if you're developing any product, if you don't have a proper quality, so what will happen? It's very difficult to convince a customer, and a lot of customer they will go away and they will not take your product. So we have to have a proper quality for your product. So I'll just again read through a definition. What is a definition of a quality assurance? Quality assurance defines the standard and process to ensure delivers meet requirement and expectation. So this is a definition again. So these are the, I just made one diagram. So first is your, again, take the example of the banking product app. Like first is a testing. So how, what kind of testing we are doing it, and the feedback loops. So what happened, every stage we need to get a feedback. So if whatever we get a comment, so we can fix those comments. And the compliance, and the compliance is very, very important for the banking, because if you don't have a compliance approval, we cannot launch any banking product. But this one I just gave the example for the banking. We can take the other use case example like a telecom product or aviation industry product, or mm, any insurance product. We can take any example, but I just made this slide only for the banking. And the ninth point is issue resolution. Issue resolution is very, very again important. Again, read through a definition. Issue resolution address and resolves conflict, issues, and challenges that arise during a project execution promptly. So what happened? A lot of when you're developer or designer doing a lot of activity, anything could be happen. Is related to bugs or error, and there are a lot of issue for the team conflicts. So definitely, sometime in the some senior leader comes into the picture and they resolve the issue, and we take a feedback from within a team or within an executive, and we resolve all the issues. So this is a 9 point. I don't want to talk in very detail. I think we can easily understand. And the last one is very, very important, because the last slide of this project management, project closure is very, very important, because unless until you close the project, we are not launching anything. So again, read the definition. Project closure involves conducting a thorough review of project outcome, documenting lessons learned, and transitioning and deliverables to stakeholder. So again, is example of the banking app. So outcome review, assess if the app meets initial objective. So in the first slide, we already talk about what are the objective. So in the outcome, we need to map it, like whatever, what was the scope of the project, what was the objective of the project, are we meeting or not? If you are not meeting, means we are not closing the project. So we need to map it all the requirement with the closer thing. And the last one is transition, because generally when we close the project, we make a one document, handover document to the operational team, so they can maintain the project. And the last point I'll just read through. Each of these project management activities is crucial for successfully delivering the mobile banking app, ensuring it meets customer needs, regulatory requirements, and the business objective actively. So these are the things I just want to talk about the project closer. Thank you so much. I hope you will like this video to learn something new. Thank you.